Hello students, welcome back to my accounts channel. Today we are going to learn posting in bank reconciliation statement. As you can see on the screen, we know the basics. Okay, I won't be teaching you what is bank reconciliation and what happens, what is fraud and all these things, nothing, because our main focus in accounts is we make mistakes in postings. A bank reconciliation statement is a summary of banking and business activity that reconciles an entity's bank account with its financial records. For example, there is a company ABC Limited. It has its own cash book which the accountants they keep, and the other is maintained in the bank where they do the transactions. So the purpose at the end of every month, see, some companies adopt monthly. At the end of month they reconcile. Some do it six monthly, and some do it yearly as well. So like it's done in bits and pieces, so that the sooner the error or the fraud is rectified, the better it is. So most of the companies they check BRS, bank reconciliation statements, at the end of the month. So this statement outlines the deposits and withdrawals of other activities affecting a bank account for the specified period. Like here I'm mentioning about month, right? End of the month. Now you can see here the next page, it shows how the bank reconciliation statement is made. It's at the end of the month. So let's say month is ending on March, the date, and you have three columns in this one, where on the left hand side is like we keep for add and less and numbering particulars, what all we are going to write in there, and right hand side is amount. There are different ways. You can start with balance as per bank book. So here my bank book, it says the bank book which the company maintains, this says here. So this I can say it, this is as cash book. Okay, and I would start with the last balance of the cash book, and I would start reconciling. That means whatever the checks, for example, checks which have not been presented, like the company has already issued the check but it has not been presented, right? So I will add back because my bank balance is showing more and my cash book is showing less balance as on that day. So to balance it out, I have to increase my cash book so that it's at par with the balance of the bank book. So checks which I have issued but has not been presented, my account, the company's account is already showing less. So that is why it is added. There are other credit directly into the bank which are added. Slowly when you start doing one example, you will get to know how we are actually doing it. Posting of the transactions. Now let's go to another format. This is a format which I am discussing. This is another format which goes in two columns. The one column shows here, it shows the all the additions. We would start with cash book, then all the entries which we have to add back, and then we would take away or less all the entries which we will reduce from here. And then in the end, this bank balance as per bank statement should reconcile. If it doesn't reconcile, then we know there is still some error or some fraud which we are not able to get it. So here are the two formats which I have shown you. We would be following up this one, all right, for easy reference and easy work. Let me take an example here, students. My first example is from the following particular of Mr. Vinod. Prepare a bank reconciliation statement as on March 31st, 2017. So now this is a format. Here I would write bank reconciliation, bank reconciliation statement of, let's say, whose, Mr. Vinod. If it is ABC Limited, you can write ABC. Here I have Mr. Vinod as on, because it's prepared on the last day, as on 31st March 2017. This will be your heading, and here you would write here serial number you can write, and here is particulars, and here would be, we are going to add the transactions which is in INR, and we would take away in INR. Okay, so I'm writing rupees. Now let's begin the first one. So this goes in rupees. This also goes in rupees. 1 second, I'll just. So I will write here rupees, and here also rupees. Let me begin with my first entry. The first says bank balance as per cash book 50,000. So I'm going to begin with cash book. It's very easy when we start with cash book. So I will say balance as on that day, that is 31st March 2017, balance in Mr. Vinod's cash book was 50,000. So I would say balance as per cash book, and it was 50,000, so it is debit balance. Next one, check issued but not presented for payment. That means Mr. Vinod has issued a check, but the check has not gone in bank. So when he presented the check, the cash book had reduced by 6,000. The amount had reduced because I showed amount check issued, but this amount has not been presented in the bank yet. That means my bank balance is showing more. So I'm going to add it up to bring it to that level, right? So I will say check add, all right? Check issued but not presented. And here the amount is 6,000. Because I'm going to add it up, so I'm going to write in this column of addition. Next, so you can just say, if you want, you can write here add. The bank had directly collected dividend of 8,000 and credited to bank account but not entered in the cash book. That means this is your income. Bank had collected dividend. Your Mr. Vinod's bank statement has increased by 8,000, whereas my cash book has not increased. I must add this as well. So my third one, I will add it. I will say dividend collected by bank. So amount is 8,000. Next one, bank charges of 400 were not entered in the cash book. That means there was 400 rupees which was not entered in the bank book, the charges. So this was a bank charges. Usually the bank charges are done directly by the bank. It shows in the bank statement. We need to update our cash book. So I am going to reduce this because my balance in the bank book has reduced. So I'll say bank charges 400. So I will write it on this side where I'm going to reduce it, right? Next one is a check of rupees 6,000 was deposited but not collected by bank. So this was deposited but not collected. That means we had deposited, Mr. Vinod had deposited this money, but bank has not yet reflected. That means bank has not collected yet. So my deposit is showing more. That means my bank balance, Mr. Vinod's cash book is showing more. I have to reduce it to be at par with the bank statement. So here I'm going to reduce it. I will say check deposited by check deposited by bank. So it's 6,000. Now the entries are over. Now we have to tally it. And we should arrive at the bank balance as per bank book. So let me see here. What is the total amount on this side is 64,000 and on this side is 6,400. And that means my balance as per passbook. We say passbook, the statement which is maintained by the bank is passbook or bank statement is 57,600. And that's how this both will tally. Okay, student. So main purpose of this is when I make these transactions, I should always, things to remember is I should always start. It's very easy when I start with my cash book and I reach to my bank passbook where it tallies. So this is one example I have done. Another example I would like to do with when I start with balance as per passbook, which I would be taking up in the next session. Right, student? And after that, I'm going to divide it in three parts. First part I've taken as balance as per cash book and arrived at passbook. The other one I will say that when I start with my bank statement and arrive at my cash book. And the third one I'll be dealing with overdrafts. Right, student? So this is what you have learned. Any doubt, you can send me a mail. And please like, comment, share and subscribe my channel. Thank you very much.